Very good morning to all the students of class plus 2C. Yes, beta, we are doing beautiful poem, A Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats. We have done two stanzas because this poem takes time, so that's why we are moving at this pace. So third stanza we are going to start. Before that, I would like to discuss first two stanzas in brief. But I would like to ask you people, those who have listened. You can see my screen better. Can you see my screen? Send me thumbs up for that if you can see the screen clearly. Anushka, what is written on the screen? Anushka, please read.
A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loneliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness.
John Keats. So, actually, these are the beginning lines of the poem, as well as these lines are the theme of the poem, too. Okay, and this is the picture of John Keats, young poet who was famous for romantic poetry. Fine, and he died at very young age. And why I'm repeating this? Because there are some faces who, those who have not even joined earlier, please be regular. Okay, Amitos, you joined for the first time today only, and it's my duty to repeat, but it's not your duty to learn. There are two, three more students, those who are still joining, and they have not joined a single class earlier. So be serious. It's your learning, not ours only. Fine. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. The beginning lines and the theme itself, written by John Keats. So let's start or continue this poem. In this poem, firstly, the main idea of the poem is that we should always concentrate on the good side of our life. Fine. And if we will concentrate on the good side of our life, it will be giving us positivity and it will be giving us sleep full of sweet dreams. Fine. And our health will also be affected if we concentrate on the bad things or the things which cause suffering and pain to us. If we concentrate on negativity, what we'll get in result is the negativity itself. Okay, so that is the basic idea of the poem. And another theme is that a thing of beauty, it can be any object, any idea, any person, fine, or any natural beauty gift given by the god. So these things are a continuous source of joy. Their value never diminish. So this is the basic idea. Okay. Now, Vanshika, please explain first stanza in few lines if you can. Jaldi jaldi se.
Yes. John Keats, the poet, wants to tell us that a beauty is forever. It's a forever joy. It never turns into the nothingness. It always gives us the joy, and we should learn from it and enjoy it. And it proves us a shade of love and care,
Okay.
and the full of sweet dreams, not to the nightmares, and a good health and a good breath.
Very good, Vanshika. So, in the very first stanza, in brief, I'm going to repeat. Poet says that beauty stays forever, it never fades away. Rather, it increases with the passing time. Fine. So, the perception of the poet is that a beautiful thing never goes off. Fine. And its beauty keeps on increasing with the passing time. And for the poet, the beauty is just like a shady tree. The way a tree gives us shade permanently, whether we sit over there or not, the beauty will always remain, the shade will always remain there. Similarly, the beauty of the thing will always remain there, whether we are appreciating it or not. Fine. So under those, you can say, shades of the trees, we can sleep, we can have sweet dreams, we can relish the beauty. Similarly, power means that shady place of the tree. So similarly, we can also appreciate the beautiful things in our lives, and it will and we will also make our health improved, fine, by relishing such beautiful objects. Clear? So this is the idea in the first stanza. Now who will explain second stanza? Vaibhav, will you be able to? Second stanza, Vaibhav, if you're listening. Anybody else? Vaibhav, you're not interested in speaking, see. Still students are joining. Then we have Amarpreet. Can you explain second stanza in very easy way? 2-3 lines only you need to speak. I will definitely explain, but I want you people to participate in this. Kakshi Sharma. See, those who are not responding, I'm not going to mark them present. Make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Please explain second stanza, beta.
Ma'am, in the second stanza, it is said that beauty keeps us.
I guess there is some disturbance at the back. That's why you're not able to. And please try to sit at secluded places when there is no one. I understand. Okay, fine. Okay. In the second stanza, poet is talking about that. Poet says that every day, every morrow. Fine. Let me show you the second stanza first here. So here, therefore, on every morrow, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despotence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways made for our searching? Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pole. So poet is saying that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live. Fine, there are sad moments in our life, there will be cruelty around us, but there will be unhealthy days also, there will be over darkened ways, means our lives will are full of ups and downs. Life is not bed of roses, it is full of thorns also, so we will be having bad days in our lives also. Yes, in spite of all the gloomy days, it is the source of beauty which created by God, which helps us to remove the sadness from our hearts. Fine, moves away the pall means it removes the sadness or the sad moments from our lives if we concentrate on the beautiful things. Fine. So now from the dark spirits tak hum kar chuke hain. Clear? Now I'll be continuing from such the sun, the moon, trees. Yes, beta. Now can you see the board clearly? Yes, beta, can you see the board clearly? Fine. So please see, I have made list of things. Fine. You can see on this side, beautiful things. Now, poet is going to talk about what are the things which he considers to be beautiful and what are the things which he considers that cause suffering and pain. Okay. So, firstly, he's going to talk about the positive side. He has already discussed the negative things. Fine, I have mentioned. Now, he's going to give us suggestions that see, God has bestowed upon us so many beautiful things. Fine, like the sun, the moon, trees, flowers, especially daffodils, he has mentioned, then rivers or streams, fine, musk roses, and tales of warriors. Fine, means mighty. There are many people who are very brave enough, like soldiers, those who live for the sake of others, those people who are living for some social causes. Fine, so there are many people who are mighty dead, who have lived for others. So these tales, so these all things are beautiful according to poet John Keats. Your idea of beauty can be anything else also. You can consider any other object or person or idea beautiful. Okay. So poet is giving an example that see, there are n number of things where you can concentrate. Okay. In the beginning, I gave you enough time to note it down when students were joining. I hope everybody has noted down. Then, on the other hand, things that cause suffering and pain are offending others. Fine. When you offend others knowingly, deliberately, or not knowingly, then offending others. Then after that, hopelessness, when you are out of hope, when you're not having any, you can say, path to follow, when there is a lot of confusion. Then lack of noblemen, there are a lot of people who are vicious, who are dubious, fine, and you are so suppressed, and you are so, dejected to see the behavior of others. So lack of noble nature is there, lack of noblemen. Then bad health, unhappiness, and gloom. Gloom is again that sadness and darkness is prevailing in bad moments of our lives. So these are the things which cause suffering and pain, and these are the things which cause happiness to us. Okay, now let's continue. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. Fine. Now, please note down the meaning of the word boon here. Boon here means blessing. Boon here means blessing. Clear? So, poet describes the beautiful things in the third stanza. Clear? Keep on marking the stanzas. Okay, fine. So, poet, tells us the beautiful things. He says that there are many beautiful things which are present on this earth, and you know that most of the beautiful things are for free. There is no charge of it. And we are running after the materialistic things. We pay hundreds and lakhs of rupees on them, and then we buy them, and then we feel happy for shorter span of time, and then after that we forget. But these are the things. See, when you have vacation, where do you rush? You try to go to Manali, you try to go to in the, you can say, Himachal and various places, and where natural beauty is there. Whenever there is interference by the man, that thing is distorted, according to me. So see, natural beauty, the gift of God, they are, so beautiful. So he is saying that poet describes so many beautiful things which are present on this earth, and these things are sun, moon, trees, flowers, rivers, fine. And all these things are actually a shady boon. Sprouting a shady boon here means they are a kind of blessing to us, but we are not able to recognize this blessing at all. So he's saying that these all things are a boon to us, a blessing to us. So he is continuing the list of beautiful things here. यहाँ तक, fine. So he's saying that all these things are a blessing, and he further describes that, see, for simple sheep and such are daffodils, with green world they live in, and clear rills. Rills are a brook, you can say water bodies जो होती हैं, rivers and brooks and flowing water, wherever you find, they are known as rills, fine. The clear rill means clean water, clean flowing water you are getting in abundance from God, fine. And that for themselves a cooling covert make, against the hot seas at the mid forest break, rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the doom. So till this point, poet has described a lot of beautiful things according to him. Fine. Firstly, note down the meanings of the word mentioned in this. There is the word rills, I told you, rills, brook, fine. Sorry, rills are the flowing water, fine. Then after that we have mighty. Mighty means brave, enormous. Mighty dead is in the next line. Grandeur, grandeur word is there, grandeur of the dooms. Underline the word grandeur. Actually, grandeur is the, you can say very high rank, very high rank, rank, very high rank or socially important thing. Fine, we say now that the grandness of something, fine, the grandness of something is called grandeur. So high rank or socially important, those things are known as, you can say, grandeur. Then mighty, brave or enormous or big, in that way. Immortal is which never, the person who never dies, or that person is immortal, which never dies. Okay, immortal. Then next word is brink, last word in these lines only, heaven's brink, where it is written, underline the word brink, edge. किनारा जिसको कह देते हैं, EDGE, edge, heaven's brink. Clear? Then rills, streams of running water. Now there is word dooms. Fine. Dooms. What is dooms? Grandeur of the dooms. Doom is actually the death, you can say. Death or last day of your life. In that way, we say doom. So it is the, like when it is going in negativity, you might have heard this concept in economics also. Economy is in doom now. Fine, in that way. So it is diminishing, downward, downfall. In that way, we use this word in a negative sense only. We associate doom with death and destruction and last day of your life. Fine. Then we have grandeur. You know that. Fine. Covert is not displayed in that way. So let's discuss now. So poet is continuing the beautiful things. He says that, see, we have simple and innocent sheep. Sheep is the example given amongst the animals, because sheep is considered very innocent animal and not clever at all. So he's saying that, see the innocence of the animals, such are, and see the beautiful daffodil flowers, and with the green world. Green world here means forests. Fine, they live in, and clear rills, and see the clean flowing water provided to us by the god, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. Yahan tak ki line hai. So he's saying that, see, we have, if god has given hot season, if god has given summer, but in spite of that he has given us you can say flowing water also against the hot season. So if negative thing is provided, positivity is also given alongside. Clear? Though hot seasons are there, but against the hot season we have cooling effect of those clear rills also. Fine, and it is hidden in front of us, covert. Fine, we are not able to see it clearly with our eyes, that god has bestowed so many blessings on us. These all things are the blessings actually. Clear? And rich with the, now see, he says that the mid forest break here does not mean that the winter break and summer break. Okay, brake here, mid forest break here means diversions. You see, when we just go through the forest areas or green areas, then there are a lot of points where you can relish the beautiful you can say surroundings. So mid forest breaks are the diversions made up in the forests, rich with the sprinkling of, and there are diversions which are showing, there are flowers, there are wild flowers, there are musk roses which are found in forests, a category of rose. Fine. And then he is just saying that, see, the whole surrounding areas are, rich with sprinkling of roses, and they're, in that way they're blooming. We can relish the beauty of roses, and such too is the grandeur of the dunes. He says, even there is beauty in the death. ध्यान से सुनना है, this line is quite important. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. He says, alongside these things, like, see, beautiful objects are there, even there is beauty in the death. Even death is beautiful, but which death? Grandeur of the dooms means the grandness, that huge, you can say, the people who are dying for the sake of others, like our soldiers and the people who are into this noble causes, I told you already. Fine, we have imagined for the mighty dead. So this line is actually associated with next line, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read. So these three lines are closely associated. Poet is saying that, in this line he's saying that beautiful things, then he describes the tales of the mighty and brave warriors. Fine, these days we're talking about frontline warriors, but let's talk about the warriors who die for the sake of their country, warriors who die for others. Fine. So he says that tales means stories of mighty warriors who laid their lives for the sake of their country, who laid their lives for the sake of others. He says that these things are also very beautiful. Even death is beautiful in that case. That's why that when a soldier dies, how they do not say that he's dead. Okay, they shaheed ho gaye. Fine, immortal. They never say that the soldier is dead now, because the person who is giving his life for the sake of others, we cannot say that he's dead. He's immortal. Amarevu. Clear? So he says that even there is beauty in the death. This line is clear to you all? Please tell me, because you need to be very clear about this. Send me thumbs up quickly, all of you, if you are clear about these lines, that and two is the grandeur of the dooms. And even he's saying there is beauty in the destruction and death of the mighty people, brave people who die for the sake of others. Yes, okay. And all the lovely tales, all the beautiful stories. Tales means the stories that we have heard about them or we have read somewhere in the books about them. All these beautiful stories are actually beautiful because there is, we can say, beauty in the death of these people also. Clear? Now the last two lines. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. Brink, I told you, edge, kinara, fine, EDGE. So he's now, poet is saying, see, perceive the beauty, not see. There is difference between seeing the things and perceiving the things. Seeing is when we just see and just we walk by, and perceiving is when you are immersing the things inside you, when you are feeling the things, that is called perceiving. So he's saying, let's perceive that an endless, never ending fountain of immortal drink. Fountain, that, he's saying that God is bestowing upon you all the blessings of immortal drink, the drink which will never die, means unfathomable, unmeasurable things are given to you. Unfathomable means जिसको हम measure नहीं कर सकते हैं. So this is a new word, you can note down. Fine. Unmeasurable. You cannot measure it. Fine. Unfathomable. So he's saying that an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink, means God himself is showering. Pouring onto us means, और जैसे पानी या ड्रिंक pour कर रहे हो ग्लास में, तो it means showering. So God is showering a lot of blessings, boons upon us directly from the heavens brink, directly from the heavens edge, and we should be able to perceive those beautiful objects. That's why he says that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Clear? Is it clear, beta? Quickly give me the response. We are left with only 4 minutes. If any doubt is there, raise your hand or type in the chat box. Most of you are raising thumbs up by saying yes. It means you are clear. Okay, now Prabhnoor, please, beta, explain the lines, grandeur of the dooms wali. Jaldi se. Prabhnoor Kaur, yes.
Ma'am, through this poem, the poet's saying that there is beauty in everything, like the sheeps, like the sheeps and the flowers, and the rivers, the tales of even the tales of warriors. He also want to convey us that there is the beauty in the death also, uh, and it is never ending. The God is providing us never ending immortal drink that is showering over us from the edge of heaven.
Okay, very good, beta. So it's clear to all of you, I guess. Now, if you have time, Gaurav, tell me what is the meaning of boon?
Ma'am, its meaning is blessing.
Very good. I'm just checking you people are noting down or not, okay? Confirming. So a bit of seriousness is there now. So let's continue with that seriousness, okay? There should be hunger of learning now. So you cannot sit idle at home, ki, okay, let it be, aaj ka lecture rehne dete hain. In all the periods I'm saying, please, okay, whether you are interested or not, now that is not the scene. In class +2, you can say, today I don't feel like listening to the teacher. No. Fine, now you cannot have that. Only half of the term is left, and more than that, even it is covered. So, the 3/4 part is left only. So now you have to be very, very particular about your learning. So there is, I guess, half of the class is particular and half of the class is not bothering what's going on in the class. So at the end of the day, they are the sufferers, those who are not attending the classes either offline or online, whatever facilities are being given to you throughout the year. So if you are serious learners, definitely it will help you. Fine, so please keep on listening. Today I'm happy that you listened to it. There are no doubts, nobody is raising any doubt also, and you are responding well also, so very good for that. Clear? So theme is very much clear to you, message of the poem is very much clear to you, fine, explanation is also clear. So now on Monday, what we will do, still this poem is not over. On Monday we will be explaining literary devices used in this poem. Fine, quite important. Along with that, we will be discussing question answers also. I will not be giving answers of question answers. I will be discussing literary devices only, and then in half of the lecture we will discuss literary devices, and rest of the half of the lecture you will be giving me the answers of the questions which I will ask you, which are given at the end of the poem, NCERT questions and some additional questions also. Okay beta, have a nice day.